Welcome to Match Sports TV. I'm here to bring you the road to the undisputed bouts between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, the twists, the turns, and the legal issues that are popping up that can prevent the bout from happening. I'm here to bring you every detail and what you need to know. But first, Deontay would help us with who an undisputed champion is.
One name in boxing.
One champion, one face, one name. It's self-explanatory. One champion, one face, one name. One guy obtaining all belts, considering him the undisputed, the undefeated, unified.
Thank you, Deontay. We all want that one face at the heavyweight division. That one face should be on top of the food chain. So, who would that be? Would it be Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua? Now, let's have a listen to another term, mandatory.
A fighter either wins a final eliminator and then is installed as a mandatory, or they are highly ranked by a governing body and are installed as a mandatory challenger after a certain period of time. Most mandatories are called within a 12-month period.
As we are done with that, there are four major sanctioning belts: the WBO, the IBF, the WBA, and the WBC. Anthony Joshua possesses four belts, but with three mandatory: WBO, WBC, and WBA. Now, Anthony Joshua is putting up, or is supposed to put up, a mandatory defense against his IBF mandatory Pulev, the Bulgarian fighter. That fight has not taken place because of the COVID-19, so it is yet to be rescheduled. So we hope that will be done. And two, he has another mandatory in waiting for the WBO in person of Alexander Usyk. With his third belt, which is a major belt, the WBA, he doesn't have any mandatories or contenders for now. So now with that, let's move to Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury also has the WBC, the last piece of the puzzle. So when all these belts are put on the line, the victor is regarded as undisputed. Pulev is not ready to take a pay cut in order to forfeit the fight against Joshua. Pulev is ready to make a case against Joshua. He wants to fight and contend for the belt. So Pulev's promoter, Bob Arum, note, Bob Arum is also the promoter of Tyson Fury in America. So Bob Arum have earned Matchroom, which is led by Eddie Hearn, the CEO, has stated that they want the fight. There has been negotiation, agreements have been done, and the fight has been made. So it is now up to both teams to reschedule. Maybe the fight, if the COVID continues, the fight may be forced to take place outside the United Kingdom, because none of the promoters want to fight in an empty stadium because of the gate proceeds. So, two, we go to the WBO. The WBO, its contender is Alexander Usyk, the Ukrainian. Alexander Usyk was an undisputed cruiserweight champion. So hence, moving to the next weight, the WBO gives you, a former champion, a chance to contest at the next weight, just like Crawford, an undisputed junior welterweight, competed when he moved to welterweight for the belt against Jeff Horn. So it is the same opportunity that is being offered to Alexander Usyk, the Ukrainian. Remember, Alexander Usyk is also co-promoted by Matchroom and K2 Promotions. So, Alexander Usyk, who is also signed to Matchroom, there can be a sort of a pay cut or a step aside money given to Usyk for him to step aside. But amazingly, is Usyk ready to step aside? Because he has stated that he wants to also be undisputed at heavyweight. So it comes with a lot of negotiation, because Usyk has been ordered by the WBO to be the next fight after Pulev for Anthony Joshua. This is where the politics of boxing comes in. Now, you would ignore the WBA title for now because they don't have a mandatory that can bring in another twist. So Usyk, who has stated that he is not ready to take a step aside money, he wants to compete for the title. But hey, the politics can come in. There can be a huge amount paid him in which he may not make even when he fights. So let's say he can be paid a $10 million, for example, to step aside for the undisputed bout to happen. But Usyk is not the only one not willing to step aside. So now we move to Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury has signed a third fight with Deontay Wilder. Okay, they actually signed a 2-fight deal, in which the third fight, the loser gets 40% and the winner gets 60%, whilst the first fight was a 50-50 fight. So now Deontay Wilder has invoked his right for a third fight against the Gypsy King. The Gypsy King has also accepted the offer, and negotiations would be starting soon. But they also don't want to fight behind closed doors. Also take note that Deontay is being managed by Al Heyman, TGB Promotions, Bomb Squad Promotions, and the PBC. He has moved from Showtime to Fox. So there's a lot of dynamics around that. They also want the fight. They want the title back. They want the title back because they also want to remain in the mix. So they are willing to face Tyson Fury for the third time. And if Tyson Fury loses that fight, then that means the pre-agreement which Joshua had with Fury cannot hold, in the sense that Fury would have lost his belt. So even if Fury wins, there is a huge hurdle which would happen in 2021 February, because the fight between the undisputed fight has been agreed for next year. But the biggest hurdle is Dillian the Body Snatcher White. Dillian White has been mandatory for over 600 days, with the spots taken for first Dominic Brazil, who was knocked back out by Deontay Wilder in the first round. Then second, by Tyson Fury. The Tyson Fury's mandatory position taken happened when allegedly UCAD, the United Kingdom Anti-Doping Agency, stated that Squad Promotions and the PBC. He has moved from Showtime to Fox. So there's a lot of dynamics around that. They also want the fight. They want the title back. They want the title back because they also want to remain in the mix. So they are willing to face Tyson Fury for the third time. And if Tyson Fury loses that fight, then that means the pre-agreement which Joshua had with Fury cannot hold, in the sense that Fury would have lost his belt. So even if Fury wins, there is a huge hurdle which would happen in 2021 February, because the fight between the undisputed fight has been agreed for next year. But the biggest hurdle is Dillian the Body Snatcher White. Dillian White has been mandatory for over 600 days, with the spots taken for first Dominic Brazil, who was knocked back out by Deontay Wilder in the first round. Then second by Tyson Fury. The Tyson Fury's mandatory position taken happened when allegedly UCAD, the United Kingdom Anti-Doping Agency, stated that there was a banned substance found in the body of the body snatcher. So with that happening, his mandatory position was taken and given to Tyson Fury, in which Tyson Fury competed February 22nd and beat Deontay Wilder by a TKO. So he has been reinstated, having been cleared in last year's December. I think last year November, just before he fought the German legend in Saudi Arabia. So besides, Dillian White has also taken or has sued the WBC, the sanctioning body of the title, in order for them to uphold their side of the bargain, because Dillian White has been paying a huge amount of sanctioning fees for the past 4 years, but they don't want to give him a chance. Yes, you would argue Dillian has gotten a shot at the world title. First, when he became a free agent, he came to US, where he was inboxed by Deontay Wilder that he should come and join their promotional company, and he would guarantee him a 2-fight contract. Dillian the Body Snatcher turned it down because he thought the terms were not favorable. Before that, let's rewind to Joshua Ruiz 1. The fight was first offered to Dillian White. Dillian rejected it because he felt he can make the money being offered to him within 2 fights, whilst he was being offered that money without an opportunity of a rematch. But hey, Joshua is the champion. You are just a contender. So like the old school people, take the peanut and then determine the standard after you become a champion. So Dillian turned the Joshua fight down, and it was later given to Ruiz Ortiz. Ruiz Ortiz turned it down. Then Andy Ruiz accepted. That was how come Andy fought Joshua on June 1st after Big Baby Miller had failed the drug test. Dillian was offered the fight, then Ruiz Ortiz, then Andy Ruiz. So Dillian White has turned down 2 championship opportunities based on financial reasoning. But now he is duly and legally due for February. Mauricio Suleiman, the WBC president, has stated that and legal actions has started for that date to be enforced. So this is another big hurdle would Dazn agree to take a pay cut and step aside for the Undisputed to happen? It can happen. He can be offered an amount of money and promised that after the Undisputed bout, he would be given the first opportunity at the title. That is, you get some cash, you relax, and you get the chance to fight for an Undisputed bout. I think it would be fair, because as a fan, I want to see the Undisputed. But Dazn, from his track record, will not accept it. That is why he has initiated a legal action. Remember, Dazn also feels shortchanged by his promoter Eddie Hearn, because he feels Eddie Hearn should not have sat in negotiation, knowing very well he is the mandatory for the WBC position. He shouldn't have started with MTK Global to negotiate the 50-50 fight deal of Undisputed in 21. Dazn feel highly insulted and disrespected by Eddie Hearn, but as a boxing promoter, all he cares about is money. Promoters hardly care about the welfare of the fighter. So Anthony Joshua, being the cash cow at Matchroom Boxing, Anthony would always be favored ahead of Dazn. Dazn is not a full Matchroom fighter. Let me explain to you. Dazn has a fight-by-fight contract with Matchroom. So when he wants to fight, he goes to Matchroom to promote the fight. Whilst Anthony Joshua has just recently renewed a 2-year contract with Matchroom. So Anthony Joshua is a full-time Matchroom fighter, whilst Dazn is a part-time Matchroom fighter. So Eddie Hearn cannot spend his scarce resources on a part-time fighter whom you may spend money working for him, and tomorrow he may take his job to another promoter. That's why Eddie Hearn is not giving much attention to Dazn, unlike Anthony. And let me give you another reason why. Remember, when the Undisputed was supposed to happen, I think in 2013 or 2017, thereabouts, Deontay asked Eddie Hearn to add, if he fights Dillian White, then that means he should guarantee him Anthony Joshua fight in a written contract. Eddie Hearn declined because Dillian is a part-time fighter and Anthony is a permanent fighter with him. So he can't use a part-time fighter's opportunity to guarantee a permanent fighter. It doesn't make sense, because if Deontay beats Dillian White as a 27 and beats Anthony Joshua in addition, he would have lost everything. So he wouldn't do that, because he doesn't make as much money from Dillian White as he makes from Anthony Joshua. So he wouldn't take that risk for Dillian White. Yeah. So these are all the twists, the turns that may happen. Besides, the WBO president, Paco Vaca, has said in a tweet that Usyk is the next mandatory. Let's have a look at the tweet. Usyk is the next mandatory for Anthony Joshua. So let's see how all these negotiations will take place in order to clear this hurdle for the Undisputed bout to happen between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Two breaks where it will take place, how much money, the TV rights, who is going to be the main promoter of that thing. All these things will take place, because Eddie Hearn also wants Dillian White mandatory If Dillian White gets the mandatory spot and beats Tyson Fury, Eddie Hearn, would have all the belts in his possession, because it depends on what Dillian would think of him after he wins the title. So he also wants Dillian to fight Tyson Fury. So all these tricks, promoters wanting to have all the booty from the top rank CEO Bob Arum also wants Pulev, who is his fighter, to beat Joshua. If he beats Joshua, he gets all the 3 belts. With Fury having one, then Bob Arum, organizes the Undisputed, have all the process. So all these promotional tricks and managerial tricks, the management, MT Clay Global, Anthony's management. Anthony has his own management company, so he manages himself and the likes of Joshua Wadzi. Let's see how all these will turn out, and I'll keep on updating you with all the news regarding the Undisputed, what the sanctioning bodies are saying, or how Dillian White's legal issues are going. Thank you, but remember, COVID is still real. Wash your hands, wear your nose masks, and keep safe. Thank you.